Greetings, listeners and viewers. We have today Chandan Ohri. More than anything else, is an old friend of Indian Newslink. He's been with us on our journey for more than 20 years. We have known him in various avatars, and today is in his newest avatar. Before we get into the details of Chandan's journey, Chandan Ohri, welcome, sir. It's a great pleasure and honor to have you with us in Indian Newslink. Please tell us how you started in New Zealand and what has been the milestones in your journey.
Thank you, Venkat, and thank you to the Indian Newslink team for giving me an opportunity to be part of this podcast. I'm very humbled to be here. My journey in New Zealand and with Indian Newslink started around 4th of September 2002 in New Zealand. And my first job, like an immigrant, was working for Burger King. And I worked in Burger King for a week, doing the shift from 9 to 12, cleaning floors, as an example. And I think God must have been kind, saying a chartered accountant managing the biggest audits in India is ready to work at any level, and there's dignity of labor in New Zealand, so it doesn't matter. Gave me the first opportunity within a week to join New Zealand Trade and Enterprise.
Wonderful.
So I joined New Zealand Trade and Enterprise in 2002 on a salary of $24,000, and then was there with them for a year. But when I left, I'm proud to say my salary in 10 months had grown to $50,000. So they had absolutely admired what I could do. And I tell a lot of migrants who come in to say, find a way to get into a job, prove yourself. You can only prove by being there. And then when you prove yourselves, the opportunity, your remuneration, your credentials, your career grows within the organization. You can grow within rather than stay outside to say, I want a perfect job.
Start even if it is Burger King.
Absolutely. It is all about just getting to know the culture, getting to know the people, and also making it sure that, I'm ready to work hard.
Right.
We came and selected the country. We sometimes have to start afresh. And that's okay. It doesn't matter. And some people are lucky where they get a job and come in, but either or, it doesn't matter in the long run. It's a long race.
So NZTE gave you an opportunity to interact with the many countries?
Yes, so I was working on their platform called marketnewzealand.com, and that platform connected exporters of New Zealand with potential buyers globally. So the buyers would put in a lead saying we need apples from New Zealand,
Right.
and the platform would connect the buyers leveraging the products that they had selected that they were interested in with the possible exporters of that product.
Right.
So once the exporters were matched, after that, the importers and exporters would discuss amongst themselves around those opportunities. The idea was that the importers were validated by the NZTE, or at that time it was called Trade New Zealand,
Right.
by their offices globally to say this buyer is a committed and capable buyer. And the exporters of New Zealand were vetted by the Trade New Zealand offices in New Zealand.
Okay.
So that when the two met, using that platform, that technology platform, we actually had a good marriage between the opportunity and fulfilling that opportunity.
Okay.
And post that, I joined, and that project got over within a year. And then I joined BDO in New Zealand. I was there with them for 7 years. I basically steered and started their consulting practice because I had established by then, and they formed BDO Information Systems Limited,
Which is
focused
now in
on
North Shore.
so BDO is all over New Zealand, but in Auckland they are in North Shore, Auckland CBD, and in East Tamaki. 3 offices, and then they have offices in Hamilton, Taupo, Kerry, Palmerston North, New Plymouth, Christchurch, and so on. So quite a large organization, not less than a big 4 in any way. But they were focused on medium-sized businesses.
Okay.
And I was a shareholder director with BDO Information Systems. And in 7 years that I was there till 35, when I was 35 years old. And I also won the award for the Young Chartered Accountant of the Year for the Northern region. And that's how I came into the limelight. And then I was offered jobs both at KPMG and PwC to move my career from BDO. So I selected KPMG out of those opportunities, and I became a partner with KPMG in 2009, 2010. In KPMG, I was the head of IT consulting practice. I was there for 7 years. I literally grew that business from $1 million upwards, hired multiple or groomed multiple partners in my practice,
Right.
and so on. So that was a really great experience leading a big four. And as part of that, I was also instrumental in starting the Microsoft practice for KPMG globally. I was part of the Chairman's 25 for KPMG globally,
Right.
which means the top 25 partners being selected and sent to INSEAD, working with the KPMG chairman in for new initiatives. So I did that, and then I was also the head for the APAC region for the Microsoft practice
Oh, you were
for
covering the
KPMG.
APEC region.
I was covering APAC for KPMG consulting practice in Microsoft.
I remember that part because largely it's only because of you that we had the opportunity to work with the business awards as far as KPMG was concerned, and we cherished that association for 5-6 years. It went on. It was mainly because of your presence. So after KPMG, you went across to one of the largest organizations in the world.
Yes. So from KPMG, I joined IBM as a managing partner for New Zealand, managing all the services business for IBM initially in New Zealand, and then managing all the big strategic projects for IBM in Australia. So I was with them for 2.5 years, managing very large projects, including the customs project in New Zealand, Vodafone, Westpac, Metcash, Qantas, very, very large, Myers, very large accounts, multinationals across Australia, New Zealand. And then after IBM, into 2018, which is roughly 16 years after I have been in New Zealand, I started Duco Consultancy as the founder and CEO.
So, what made you to come to entrepreneurship after being a corporate chief in some of the multinationals?
Yeah, I think after 16 years, Venkat, in New Zealand, you built relations, you've understood the business environment across Australia, New Zealand. People followed you as I moved from BDO to KPMG to IBM in
Right.
terms of talent and skills. Clients moved with you because they trusted you. And that's when I realized, why should I not venture into my own business? And I tested the waters by asking a few clients to say, if I started my own business, do you think it would make sense that you would give me work? And I had to be careful because I couldn't approach clients which were under restraint of trade.
Yeah.
But the clients which were not under restraint of trade and we were not working with them, I could do that, test
So you
the
have to
waters.
follow moral principles as well.
Yeah.
But you also had briefly into the education sector.
Yes, so while between, I would say 2014 and or 2015 and 2020, 21, I also acquired 4 education institutes: AGI Education, Peter Minton Goldsmith School, Sutek Fashion Academy, and lastly Hungry Creek. And then I merged them into AGI Education for Healthcare and IT, and then New Zealand School of Art and Fashion, merging arts, design, fashion, and jewelry making. And just
Still
before,
own them?
so just before COVID, I would say, with the grace of God, and I was lucky, I actually sold all of those businesses just before COVID. In fact, when COVID first lockdown happened for COVID, I was handing over the keys to the new owners.
Okay.
So may not be the perfect time for the new owners, but it was a great outcome from us because we had grown the businesses from purely international business to 50% domestic business. And that kept the new owners very happy because even with COVID, the domestic business kept going on and they had plenty of international education there.
So, what does Duco do?
So, Duco Consultancy is a business led, technology enabled organization. It works with clients in the areas of ERP implementation, which is large financial systems, customer relation management systems, business process re engineering, program and change management, architecture integration, and artificial intelligence. We partner with the largest companies in the world like Microsoft, Oracle, AWS, IBM, Stibo, and Atlassian. So they are our partners. We are spread across Australia, New Zealand, US, Fiji, and India. Fiji is our nearshore delivery center. We don't have clients in Fiji, but they have the same time zone for Australia, New Zealand, and very similar to the West Coast in US. So we have a delivery center servicing the clients in Australia, New Zealand, US. India is an offshore delivery center. So when so Fiji hands over the delivery to India. In addition to that, we have teams in Australia, New Zealand, US, which is sales and delivery. So you'll have a team of 70 people onshore, 30 people in Fiji, 100 people in India, and we are looking to double all of this in the next 12 to 18 months. So that's our offices and partnerships and the services we offer.
So, you transcend computer technology to business mentoring, business systems, customer management, all those, a gamut of functions which will enable a company to look after itself through you.
Absolutely. So it is all about basically helping clients to say, how can we ensure, how can we automate some of their business processes? So it's eliminate waste, eliminate manual processes, automate. It could also include data analytics and data science, predicting buying patterns for companies. It also includes developing mobile apps, websites, web applications for large clients. So some of our clients includes the Warehouse Group, Torpedo 7, Noel Lemming, Coles, Metcash, Toyota, Ministry of Social Development. So our businesses are spread across spread across Australia, New Zealand, US, working for some very large companies today, helping them with their technology solutions, but it has to solve a business problem. So it is always business-led solution, but solved with technology.
Very interesting, Chandan. We have almost reached the end of the podcast for now, but we would like to continue this conversation because there is a lot of interest that can be generated through what Duco Consultancy can offer, not only to our readers but also our potential sponsors and various others associated with Indian Newslink. So, with that, I want to thank you for your time this morning. And we look forward to another podcast soon. We'll talk about what you can do with India because, as Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, has said, and as some of our leaders in New Zealand have said, business led initiatives can lead to better outcome between countries. Jacob, who is the Managing Director Jacob Manot, the Managing Director and Publisher of Indian Newslink and Zindia, has been very passionate about developing relations with India. I think companies like Duco can be very good conduits because you already have a good presence like Zindia has. We'll talk about all that in the next podcast. And with that, once again, thank you very much, Chandan.
Thank you, Venkat.